Dr. Orion Voss, an expert in astral travel, had been assigned to unravel the mysteries of an ancient civilization discovered on a distant planet. This civilization possessed the ability to separate their souls from their bodies, enabling them to travel across dimensions. However, the truth behind this ability was far darker and more complex than anyone had anticipated. As Orion set foot on the planet's surface, he immediately sensed something unusual. The gravity was light, but what truly captured his attention was an invisible presence and energy that seemed to whisper to him through the very air. From that moment, a transformation began deep within his consciousness. The exploration team soon discovered a massive temple adorned with intricate carvings and architectural marvels. At the center of the temple stood a colossal stone monument, its surface shimmering with an ethereal glow. Orion felt an irresistible pull toward it, as if the monument was calling out to his very soul. Standing before the monument, Orion took a deep breath and placed his hands on the cold stone. In an instant, he felt himself being pulled out of his body, his consciousness hurtling through stars and galaxies, transcending time and space. He found himself in a boundless void, surrounded by ancient entities, spirits unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. A voice resonated within his mind. "Welcome, traveler. You are about to explore your soul's true potential. But beware, each journey brings you closer to a path from which there is no return." Orion felt a surge of fear but knew that this experience could mark a turning point for humanity. Yet, what price would they have to pay for such knowledge? Orion Voss floated in the void, his consciousness untethered from the physical realm. Stars and galaxies swirled around him, each one a gateway to another dimension, another time. The sheer vastness of the astral plane was overwhelming, but there was a strange sense of familiarity, as if he had been here before in some forgotten dream. He sensed movement around him, wisps of energy, the remnants of long-forgotten souls that had wandered too far and could never return. These entities whispered in ancient tongues, their words lost to time, yet their meaning was clear, they were warnings. Orion focused on the path ahead, determined not to be distracted by the echoes of the past. He had a mission to uncover the truth about the civilization that had mastered this strange, ethereal art. But as he pressed forward, he began to feel a pull, a gravitational force drawing him toward a specific point in the astral expanse. As he approached, the stars seemed to dim, and the air grew thick with an oppressive energy. Before him materialized a vast, swirling vortex, its center a deep void that seemed to consume all light and matter. This was the Veil of Time, a place where the past, present, and future converged, where the astral travelers of the ancient civilization had come to manipulate the threads of existence. Orion hesitated at the edge of the vortex. He knew that crossing the veil meant exposing himself to unimaginable dangers. Time was not a linear path here, it was fluid, malleable, and stepping into the vortex could mean losing himself in the endless currents of history. Yet, he also knew that the answers he sought lay beyond this threshold. Taking a deep breath, Orion steeled himself and plunged into the vortex. The sensation was immediate and overwhelming, a disorienting rush as time itself unraveled around him. He glimpsed flashes of the past, the rise and fall of empires, the birth of stars, and the eventual decline of the very civilization he sought to understand. But amid the chaos, a vision began to form, a grand temple, unlike the one he had seen on the planet's surface. This temple was untouched by time, its halls echoing with the power of the beings that once inhabited it. At the temple's core was a chamber, and within that chamber, a single artifact pulsed with energy, the Astral Requiem. Orion reached out, trying to grasp the vision, to understand its significance. But the vortex resisted, pulling him away, scattering the images before he could make sense of them. The veil was fighting back, refusing to yield its secrets so easily. With a final burst of effort, Orion broke free from the vortex's grip, his consciousness snapping back to the astral plane. He was disoriented, but he had seen enough. The Astral Requiem was the key, whatever it was, it held the power to control not just the astral plane, but the very fabric of reality. But as Orion began to make his way back to his body, he felt a presence following him, a dark, malevolent force that had awakened when he crossed the veil. It was ancient, powerful, and it wanted what Orion had seen. Orion quickened his pace, his mind racing. He had to return to his body, to warn his team, to find the Astral Requiem before it was too late. But even as he sped through the astral plane, he could feel the dark presence closing in, its tendrils reaching out, seeking to drag him back into the abyss. The race against time had begun, and Orion knew that the next steps he took would determine the fate of not just himself, but perhaps the entire universe. Orion drifted through the astral plane, his mind navigating the endless currents of energy that flowed through this otherworldly dimension. Time had no meaning here. Past, present, and future intertwined like threads in a vast, cosmic tapestry. Each thread represented a life, a moment, a memory, and Orion could feel them all vibrating with the echoes of eternity. As he ventured deeper, Orion encountered visions, fragments of the ancient civilization that had once thrived on this distant planet. He saw them as they were, beings of immense knowledge and power, their spirits capable of transcending the physical form. They had discovered the secrets of astral travel and used it to explore the farthest reaches of existence. But these visions also showed the cost of their knowledge. Orion witnessed the slow decay of their souls, each journey through the astral plane stripping away a piece of their essence until nothing remained but empty shells, devoid of life and emotion. The ancient civilization had paid the ultimate price for their pursuit of power, a price that now threatened to claim Orion as well. As the visions faded, Orion found himself standing before a massive, swirling vortex, a gateway to the heart of the astral plane, where the answers he sought could be found. But he knew that crossing this threshold would come at a great risk. The vortex pulsed with energy, and Orion could feel its pull, a siren's call that beckoned him forward. To step through is to embrace eternity, the voice from before echoed in his mind. But eternity is not for the faint of heart. Choose wisely, traveler, for your path is one of no return. Orion hesitated, the weight of his decision pressing down on him. He had come so far, but the cost of continuing might be too great. Yet, the need for answers, the desire to uncover the truth about the ancient civilization and the power they wielded, pushed him forward. With a deep breath, Orion stepped into the vortex, and the world around him dissolved into pure energy, a kaleidoscope of colors and sensations. He was no longer just Orion Voss, a man of science, he was something more, something beyond the limits of human understanding. The journey was far from over, but Orion knew that he was closer than ever to the truth, closer to uncovering the secrets that could change everything. Orion felt as though he had been disintegrated and reformed, his essence scattered across the astral plane before coalescing into something new, something altered. The vortex had deposited him in a realm unlike any he had ever encountered, an endless expanse of pure energy, where form and substance were concepts without meaning. Here, Orion was neither fully human nor entirely spirit, but something in between, an entity of thought and will alone. In this place, time was not linear but a fluid, shifting force. Orion saw the echoes of his past, the possibilities of his future, all blending together in a kaleidoscope of memories and visions. He was a child, running through fields under a summer sky. He was an old man, staring into the stars from his study. He was everything and nothing, all at once. As he drifted through this realm, Orion became aware of a presence, a being of immense power and wisdom, whose consciousness resonated with the very fabric of the universe. This being was the last remnant of the ancient civilization, the one who had survived the decay and dissolution that had claimed the others. It was the guardian of eternity, the keeper of all the knowledge that had ever been and ever would be. "You have come far, Orion Voss," the guardian's voice echoed in his mind, a sound that was both a whisper and a roar. "But knowledge has a price, as those who came before you have learned. Are you prepared to pay it?" Orion hesitated, the enormity of the situation settling over him like a shroud. He had seen what had happened to the ancient civilization, how their pursuit of power had led to their destruction. But he had also seen the vast potential of their knowledge, the ability to transcend physical limits and explore the very essence of existence. It was a power that could elevate humanity to new heights, but it was also a power that could consume him entirely. "What is the price?" Orion asked, his voice trembling with both fear and determination. "The price is your soul," the guardian replied. "To gain the knowledge you seek, you must surrender your essence to the astral plane. You will become one with it, existing beyond time and space, but you will also lose yourself, your identity, your humanity. It is a sacrifice few are willing to make." Orion's thoughts raced. He had always sought knowledge, always pushed the boundaries of what was possible. But this was something beyond his comprehension. To give up his very being in exchange for understanding, to lose everything he was for the sake of discovery. It was a choice he had never imagined he would have to make. But as he stood on the precipice of eternity, Orion realized that he had already gone too far to turn back. The need to understand, to uncover the secrets of the universe, was too strong to resist. He had to know, had to see what lay beyond the veil of reality. "I am prepared," Orion said, his voice steady now, filled with resolve. The Guardian's presence seemed to expand, enveloping Orion in a cocoon of energy and light. "Then the knowledge is yours," it said, and with those words, Orion felt his consciousness begin to unravel, his essence merging with the astral plane. He could feel everything, the thoughts and memories of countless beings, the ebb and flow of time itself, the very fabric of the universe. He was becoming one with it all, losing himself in the infinite expanse of existence. But as Orion's last vestiges of self began to dissolve, a new understanding took root. The knowledge he had sought was not something to be possessed or controlled, it was something to be experienced, to be lived. And in that realization, he found a new sense of purpose. Orion Voss was no longer just a man of science, he was a part of the cosmos itself, a being of pure thought and will, existing beyond the limits of time and space. He had paid the price for knowledge, but in doing so, he had become something greater, something eternal. Orion Voss stood at the precipice of the astral plane, his consciousness fully merged with the vast, ancient entity that had once been the heart of the long-lost civilization. He had seen their rise and fall, their triumphs and their ultimate descent into oblivion. He had felt the weight of their knowledge, their regrets, and now, he was on the brink of discovering the final truth they had sought to protect. The entity spoke to him, not with words, but with thoughts and emotions that resonated deep within his soul. "You have seen our fate, traveler. You know the cost of seeking power beyond the physical realm. Yet you continue to seek the truth. Why?" Orion's thoughts were a whirlwind of questions and doubts, but one desire remained clear: to understand. To ensure that humanity does not repeat the same mistakes. The entity seemed to consider this, its presence pulsing with an ancient wisdom. "Our knowledge was both our salvation and our doom. We sought to transcend, to escape the limits of our mortality, but in doing so, we lost what made us whole. Our souls became fragmented, scattered across the cosmos, until all that remained were echoes." Orion could feel the weight of the entity's sorrow, the collective grief of a civilization that had reached too far. But within that sorrow was also a glimmer of hope, a chance for redemption, for something new to be born from the ashes. "You are different," the entity continued. "You carry within you the potential for both creation and destruction. The path you choose will determine the fate of your kind. Will you embrace the same pursuit of power that led to our downfall, or will you learn from our mistakes and forge a new path?" Orion felt the enormity of the choice before him. The power to shape reality, to transcend the boundaries of time and space, was within his grasp. But with that power came the risk of losing everything that made him human: his emotions, his connections, his very soul. He saw a vision of the future, a possible outcome where humanity followed the same path as the ancient civilization, their spirits consumed by the pursuit of immortality, leaving behind empty shells devoid of life. But he also saw another possibility: a future where humanity learned from the past, where they used their knowledge to protect and preserve, rather than dominate and destroy. "The choice is yours, Orion Voss," the entity whispered, its voice filled with both challenge and encouragement. "Choose wisely." Orion took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the universe on his shoulders. He knew that whatever choice he made, it would shape the destiny of not just himself, but all of humanity. With that knowledge, he made his decision. "I choose to remember," he thought, his resolve firm. "To carry your knowledge forward, but to honor the lessons you've taught me. I will not let humanity repeat the same mistakes." The entity seemed to smile, a sense of peace washing over Orion as the vortex of energy around him began to dissipate. "Then you are ready," it said softly. "Go, traveler. Carry our legacy, and may your kind find the balance we could not." With those final words, the world of the astral plane began to fade, and Orion felt himself being pulled back toward the physical realm. His consciousness returned to his body, his senses slowly coming back online as he opened his eyes to the dimly lit temple where his journey had begun. But Orion was not the same man who had entered this place. He was forever changed, his mind expanded by the knowledge and experiences he had gained. As he stood up, he knew that his work was far from over. He had a story to tell, lessons to share, and a future to help shape. The ancient civilization's legacy would not be forgotten. It would live on, through him and through the choices humanity would make in the years to come. As Orion Voss stepped out of the temple and into the light of a new dawn, he felt a sense of both completion and beginning. The journey had been long, the challenges immense, but he had found the answers he sought, and in doing so, he had found himself. The echoes of eternity would continue to resonate, but now, they carried with them the promise of a new future.